collected.com, your new favorite vintage store online. Okay, I want to talk very briefly, very short, about something very important and confusing that I hope will be in some way solved, or I can be helping with this video. I want to talk about what is antiques and what is vintage. They are not the same, obviously. And it is very important to know that when you are creating a listing for selling. Let's start with antiques. Some people will tell you that antiques are things from 19th century or from even older. But it is not necessarily like that. Some people will also tell you, okay, look, in this bibliography, in this book, you will read this, and they say that it is from the 19th century. No, exactly, once again. First, antiques, you can say that antiques is any object created before the end of the Second World War. So, 1945 is a very good date. You can even advance a little and you say 1947, that was when finally all the process of the Second World War was ended and started the reconstruction of Europe, and modernity started to be kind of a global phenomenon. Many of the objects that were created before 1945 today are odd. They are not of our common, not taste, but even use. There was kind of a revolution in the domestic everyday life technology and habits exactly after 1945. That's why many of the objects created before that date are absolutely collectibles. You cannot find even a wear. Or you can wear them and people will say you are a snob, or what is this? Then I really recommend to everyone to consider as a date 1945 or 1947. What is a vintage item? A vintage item is usually something that you can wear, and people would say maybe that you have a retro look, but will be cool and not necessarily snob or rare if you want to have this retro look. A vintage item is something that is out of fashion, but still wearable, still easy to understand the use or the concept behind the object. And even if it's not in the taste of our exactly actual right now moment, you can create or you can add it as part of your everyday environment without being necessarily weird. What is important about vintage? It is important for vintage items that you have clear the period, the decade in which it was created. Because a vintage item is directly linked or related to a station or a period or an era in the fashion in modern times. So it is very important that you know if something is vintage 60s, if it is vintage 70s, 80s or 90s. And will be very helpful not only for selling but also for even collectors, to know where you can place the object in time. It is kind of like a common sense or common idea that vintage should have at least 25 years old. Usually 25 years old is enough time for something become out of fashion, out of general look or general taste. Then antiques and vintage. I will recommend to everyone to consider antiques any items before the Second World War, and vintage something that was created between 1945 and 25 years ago. Will be very helpful, and keep these numbers, annotate or keep them in mind. Thank you, and if you have any question, please just write me and let me know what you want to know, what can I do for you, what can I research for you. Thank you so much.